Item Number SCP-004 Object Class Euclid Special Containment Procedures. When handling items SCP-004-2 through SCP-004-13, proper procedure is vital. The items are not permitted to be moved off-site unless accompanied by 2 Level 4 security personnel. Under no circumstances should any other component of SCP-004 be taken through SCP-0041. The effects of doing so are as yet unknown, and the current cost of experimentation makes further research impractical. Should any of the objects contained within SCP-0041 breach containment, or the facility be breached, the keys must be brought inside and the door closed prior to activation of Site-62's on-site warhead. Unauthorized removal of keys from the testing areas grounds for immediate termination. Level 1 clearance is required for basic access to SCP-0041. Level 4 clearance is required for use of SCP-0042-13. Description: SCP-004 consists of an old wooden barn door, SCP-0041, and a set of 12 rusted steel keys SCP-004 through SCP-004-13. The door itself is the entrance to an abandoned factory in Data Expunged. Chronological History: 2nd July 1949. A group of 3 juveniles trespassing on federal property near Find the Door. According to their testimony, they found a set of rusted keys in an iron lockbox and determined what door the keys unlock. The juveniles are taken into custody after they contact sheriff when one of their friends, SCP-004-CAS-01, goes missing. 3rd July 1949. Local authorities find the severed right hand of SCP-004-CAS-01, 8 kilometers from SCP-0041. Other parts of SCP-004-CAS-01's body are found scattered as far as 32 kilometers from the factory. Under interrogation, the apprehended juveniles tell authorities that upon opening the door with one of the keys, SCP-004-CAS-01 was torn into several pieces, each of which disappeared. At this point, the SCP Foundation takes over the investigation. 4th July 1949. SCP Agent obtains the keys from the local authorities to begin testing. Tests show that SCP-0042 through SCP-004-13 all fit into a single lock on the large barred door. 12 Class D personnel are assigned to test the effects of the door. Of the 12 test subjects, each trying a different door to enter the room, only 2 survive. Opening the door with any key except SCP-0047 or SCP-00412 causes the test subjects to be torn apart in multiple directions. However, no dismembered parts were found until later. At the time of writing, only 2 parts of each subject have been recovered, with the exception of the subject using SCP-004, whose pieces were scattered in close proximity. The others have, for all intents and purposes, vanished from existence. Of the 2 surviving subjects, only one, having used SCP-0047, returned unharmed. The other came back in a near catatonic state, able only to remove himself from the room and then collapse on the floor, and had to be restrained to prevent from him gouging out his eyes. See Appendix A Mental Health Effects of SCP-004. The subject using SCP-0047 said that he had entered a large room, impossible big for the size of the attached building. After exit, SCP-0041 was propped open and an armed squad of Level 3 personnel entered. The size of the room is impossible to measure, and the door frame and the individuals in the room are the only part of the room that can be felt or illuminated. 16th July 1949. The juvenile suspects and sheriff are terminated. 2nd August 1949. Is declared the hazardous area due to unexploded ordnance and fences erected in order to prevent civilian ingress. Tests to determine safety of exposure to environment behind SCP-0041 begin. 1st December 1950. Space-time anomalies resulting from exposure to SCP-004 are confirmed. Testing is suspended until further notice. 2nd July 19. The unaccounted for remains of SCP-004-CAS-01 appear unexpectedly outside SCP-0041. Despite being killed decades before, the remains of SCP-004-CAS-01 are not decomposed in any manner and are still warm to the touch. Blood remains uncoagulated. The remains are remanded for testing. 4th July 19. The unaccounted for remains of one of the 12 original test subjects appear in similar manner to those of SCP-004-CAS-01. The remains have been designated SCP-004-CAS-02. Records suggest that both SCP-004 CAS-01 and CAS-02 used SCP-004 23rd March 1999. With the massive proliferation of nuclear weapons and World War III only years away, construction has begun on a site inside SCP-0041. The site is to stock supplies for person days. 21st April 1999. Has ordered the site inside SCP-0041 to be expanded to include emergency storage for all mobile SCP specimens and a petabyte database for the storage of all SCP data. The facility is now referred to as Site-62. 25th September 2000. Site-62 is operational. Labs and containment units are completed and can contain the most dangerous specimens. Backup of the SCP database has begun. 25th January 2001. Due to time anomalies, see space-time anomalies below, all personnel working at Site-62 are now required to reside on-site permanently. Families of personnel are to be informed that loved ones perished in an industrial accident. Cloned bodies have been prepared for funeral. 14th August 2003. Massive power outage across northeast United States and through Canada. Due to the initial failure of multiple SCP generators, Site-62 was without power for 53 minutes. During those 53 minutes, those on site were completely without any source of light. They reported sensing creatures and people, also no abnormal entities could be seen or felt. Selected facility personnel were allowed to read Appendix A and said the creatures sensed were of human size but otherwise similar to the massive green creature described. Space-time anomalies. SCP-004 seems to propagate spatiotemporal anomalies. Personnel leaving the facility report losing time. Those who have been in the site for weeks insist that they had only been in the facility for several days, and records of work completed and supplies consumed support their claim. Other temporal anomalies involve SCP-004 through 13, especially the reappearance of SCP-004 CAS-01 and SCP-004 CAS-02, exactly years after ensuring SCP-004 been assigned to investigate all aspects of these time anomalies. Spatial anomalies include the impossible large dimensions of the area opened by SCP-0047. Similarly, the 2003 blackout incident suggests that there exists an alternate plane of existence within the same space that Site-62 occupies. Additional notes. Testing on SCP-004 reveals that 10 of the keys open SCP-0041 on a dimension where the laws of physics and topology are significantly different than those of our home dimension. Test subjects meeting these hostile conditions are torn apart. Their body parts deposited in various locations, only 3 of which have been verified to be on Earth. Material deposited at 2 of these points appears immediately. Material deposited at the 3rd appears exactly years in the future. The other 7 locations are currently unknown. Current testing focuses on 2 avenues of research. The first is finding ways to survive SCP-004's hostile topologies. The second, data expunged, suggests that SCP-0042 through 13 may open doors other than SCP-0041. Appendix A. Mental health effects of SCP-004-12. All Class D personnel using SCP-004-12 return in a catatonic state, unable to speak. Some may have enough energy left to try to claw their eyes out. Of the 16 subjects, only 4 have survived. Only 1 has regained speech following long-term psychotherapy. He was able to tell the psychiatrist that he saw a massive green creature, so large that much of its body extended beyond his field of vision. He reported innate fear and sudden recognition, as if it were something buried deep in his primal fears, and forced implantation of incomprehensible memories. Subject displays acute anterograde and retrograde amnesia. Appendix B. Additional information. Item number SCP-004-14. Date of discovery 2nd September 1950. Origin of object. Object was discovered elsewhere in factory in the previously undiscovered manager's office. Description. Object appears as a large unvarnished wooden box. The box may be unlocked by the safe key SCP-0047 as well as 5 of the unsafe keys. See documentation SCP-0041. Upon unlocking SCP-004-14 with SCP-0047, the box opens automatically on hinges. The volume of the space inside is precisely 5 times greater than the outer dimensions imply. Items placed within the box while the lid remains open do not affect the weight or any other properties of the box. When the lid is closed and locked, however, all items inside vanish irretrievably. personnel locked inside the box are also irretrievable, although losing personnel in this fashion appears to affect significantly the dreams experienced by data expunged.